Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, welcome to NerdTube. My name is Gary, also known as Bossman, also known as Funny BBX, also known as your DC fanboy on NerdTube. Uh, we're going to talk about one of my favourite series, especially one that is well to its stride now, which is Stargirl. I love Stargirl so much. I mean, if you've ever watched the streams, I'm always going on about it on here. So um, Cheeto and Sam said that I should, do these on here, and I thought, good idea. Let's talk about it. So first of all, Stargirl season one. Let's just now the Justice League of America, which was Icicle, Dragon King, Brainwave, Solomon Grundy, Target Master, Tigress, the Gambler, the Fiddler, you know, they all wanted to take over America and actually do some actually pretty decent, morally, actually, I think, socially conscious things. They failed, just put it up, and they got defeated at the end of last season. You know, Icicle died as he was about to kill Courtney, who is the main character in Stargirl. So this episode is, well, this season is about Summer Skull. So Skull is out. They were supposed to. So here's what happens in episode one. Um, the Justice League, the Justice Society of America, is still patrolling out. So we've got Our Man, which is Rick. We have Wildcat, which is which is Yonder Vasquez. We have Doctor Midnight, who's Beth Chapel. We have Stargirl, all going out patrolling a city that basically doesn't have any villains anymore. And she's put so much into this that people are just like, oh, you're looking for ghosts, basically. You're looking for things that are there because you want to give yourself something today. Because this is who you are now. She is now Stargirl. Uh, so the so the so just decided basically go by that she's still. So this is a test, and she said that, oh, I studied for it hard, and he's like, no, you haven't. You've been out, you're venturing. So so the test ends, and um, basically that is. But again, what I forgot to mention was the start of the episode. So what happens is that there's a flashback because whenever you did, there's always a flashback to something that it helps us establish the new characters who are coming in or establish something about the backstory. One thing that I think that Stargirl actually uses well, because you get bored, but they don't because they use either a new story or a new concept or a new idea that explains something about the hero or the villain or both. And I think that's very good that he actually gives the villains and heroes equal place to show that they're not mustache twirly villains. There is humanity there. So what happened was that in the first episode there is this party that's going on across the street for this young girl who says, "Oh, can I go to her mum? Can I go?" And your mum says, "No, you're acting up in the shop. You can't go." And he says, "Oh, my dad would let me go." And he says, "Well, your dad's not here. He's on call." So as the call is happening, there is the little sits on basically one of these swinging porches that always seem to happen in the South of America. Where there's swinging porches, and we don't see inside the house at all, which is really creepy done. It's like Children of the Corn or something. Then all of a sudden, this little boy comes over. He must be about like 10 tops. Comes over and says, my name's Bruce. I moved off across the road. Says, and then he starts saying stuff to this little girl. You should go over. He says, well, I can't. My mum's watching. He says, no, you should definitely go over. So the girl like comes over and and then she nearly gets knocked over by a truck, and then she goes over, which comes out of nowhere. She goes over, and then the little boy pops up again and says, "Oh, when you see the stack of prints, oh, you should take one." So she takes one, she opens it, and it's this little doll. and like and then like the dolls I grew up, the dolls were the creepiest looking children's toys. And I said, if I'd seen this when I was a child, I would have had nightmares. Anyway, the little boy goes, to the bad girl, and he holds up to his eye, and he's like starts going like red eyed, and then we don't see what happens after that. We just see the mum like head out the out of the house, like round to where the baby, and then start to scream, and that's what ends the episode. Starts the episode, sorry. So, so next things we see is like that Rick has done really well at it, and he now has to do retake a test because the teacher doesn't believe that he studied because and he's like I saved you and stuff like that. You can see that there's still anger and angst within Rick. Alonda goes to a Catholic church and just sits in confession. She can't. And she keeps on getting flashes of in purple of her killing Blade Wave, literally like tearing his throat out, and he literally literally like dying, and her hearing it. So that was excellent. But yeah, we find out, but the next thing that happens is like Tigress's and Taskmaster's daughter comes to her, and she doesn't do anything, and she basically says something, and Stargirl like takes her up and plants her, and she basically gets whisked off by the principal, and basically told that you failed your test, you need to come to scrum school. So basically, so basically before this, part of all the family were planning on going on this vacation in an RV, just to get away from it all. But she's unfortunately got pulled back by the fact that she failed school and all this sort of stuff. So that's something that is going to occur. Next thing we see is the set of the lockers like pull back, and you see even from the behind you can tell it's Cindy Berman. The way she's walking and stuff like that, and she has the crystal and stuff like that, and she pulls some things out of a locker, and she goes down to the ex Injustice Society Leah, and she looks at it and says, "Had to do recruiting," and she hears the voice from the, and that's the end of episode 1. Episode 2, well actually that's not the end of episode 1, because episode 1 actually ends when late at night, Stargirl's asleep, Courtney's asleep, and then all of a sudden, she's woken up by the staff and she hears noises downstairs. So she goes down, and then all of a sudden she sees this teenage girl, stealing the lantern, and and then all of a sudden they have a pretty decent fight, and the thing where like she uses the staff to blow apart the kitchen, she goes around the metal unit they have there, and it's an incredible fight. Anyway, so that's where the episode ends. The end of the episode begins with basically the like 6 days before, where we see that Jenny, who is says that your dad left you something, and she opens this like Lozenges bottle. She basically gets told that she's getting kicked out of this youth home that she's been in for must be years. Basically gets told, here's a Lozenges bottle. She opens it, he's got a toy car with Todd, who must be a brother, but they don't actually say that. And then she finds the ring, the Green Lantern ring. She puts, and the ring that rings up and comes out, and it comes onto her finger. It doesn't give her the uniform or anything like that, but she just still has the ring. So then it cuts to one day where her and Courtney have just had their fight, and he says, "Oh, it's her fault." Blah blah blah. He says, "Are you Pat Dugan? You're a hero." Blah blah blah. He says, "I am." He says, "Like, yeah, you're a legend," and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, he is to some degree. He did create Stripe, out of nothing basically. So we see the basically her saying, oh, so basically Stargirl has to fall asleep, and then she wakes up and she sees like the happy family of Jade has cooked, a breakfast which is like pancakes, I think, and then like she she says, oh, this is the best breakfast I've ever had and stuff like that, and it's like total positive and stuff like that, and the next thing we see is that Courtney's told that she has to go to summer school, and so she goes, and then the next bit is we that we that it's girls don't want to have fun with so girls don't want to have fun as Cindy's stepmom is basically doing a Greek wedding and smashing every single plate and famous nice before she leaves, and then and she hears a knock on the door and she opens it and she says, "I've come home," and she got to read, and this whatever the Eclipse crystal casts a spell on her. So as that occurs, the mother's under the spell. And then all of a sudden we cut to them going to school, going to Courtney and Yvonne, because again I keep on saying Yvonne, that's her real name. Yolanda, because Yolanda, even though she passed, her parents don't hate her, so basically she has to go to this entire thing, and she. So they're doing this, and they're drawing words, and they're basically going Bueller. He's basically making like loads of like Ferris Bueller day off jokes. I really didn't care for this part of it. But then they're having like lunch, and he gives them some of the pancakes. He goes, "Oh, wow, these are really good," and Stargirl eats and goes, "Yeah, they are really good." She's like, it's like the most. And then next we cut to Rick, our man, who's been leaving out buckets of food for what we believe is Solomon Grundy. We can hear the grunts and stuff like that. And he like gets rid of the rubbish and stuff like that. And then after he leaves, we see this car. Basically, it's like this posh old car, and then like all of a sudden door opens and it's Richard Swift, the Shade. He comes out of it and he comes and sits in the the town building that Barbara works in, and he's like going, "Oh, I'm looking for William Zerrick's stuff." Now we all know that William Zerrick is the wizard. Was a wizard. He passed away in the last season, so that's great. And he's been played by somebody who I recognise, which is Jonathan Cake. I recognise him from British TV back in the day. And he's basically doing this whole spiel about, I'm looking for this spell, they're of interest to me, blah, blah, blah. Gives her a card. Anyway, he goes, and then after he goes, we cut to Zeke, who is the owner of the scrapyard in town, and basically he's been fitting Stripe with like a flamethrower, and like he comes out and goes, and this the type of flame says, "Oh, I can get that beggar if you want," and stuff like that. And he's like, "Oh, I'll see you later, Zeke." And then Jade is there. She's like, and then Beth and Yolanda are there, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, it's nice to meet you, blah blah blah. It's great." And then we get to see Yolanda. So we see. Yolanda and Courtney come in, and they basically like going, "Oh, it's nice to meet you, blah blah blah," and you can tell that she's proper jealous of the way that she is Alan Scott's daughter. She's like going, "Oh, you're perfect," blah blah blah, and Pat basically says to her, you just how you felt when you thought this. He said, I felt less alone and stuff like that. He says, that is how you should feel and stuff like that. And it was great to hear, Pat, because their relationship has developed so much since season one. They have a proper father-daughter relationship now. Isn't just like a hero and their psychic. You know, it's proper like your father-daughter relationship. And she goes down and she does apologise to Jade and says, you're perfect. And this is when she snaps. This is when Jade snaps and basically goes, I'm not perfect. And then well, Barbara says something to Pat, and Pat goes off to look for the shade. And then, uh, you know, Jade finally snaps, and then the lantern starts like glowing green and stuff like that. And Pat finds where he is in this like diner place and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. He says, do you mind if I tell you?" And then starts talking about old cars and stuff like that. And then he goes and he looks up and he looks at basically them like carrying the green lantern like he said actually Bob and says, "I'll be right back," and he just like heads off to find about basically and then Jade says Courtney's like saying, "I think it's you, you're the one who said it because they're trying to find a way to disarm this thing," and this thing just falls back and she starts to fly. Jade starts to fly, and it's great to see. A lot of people like Jade, and obviously why? Because she's a very popular hero. And then they all go back down to Earth. So throughout this, we about at least twice, Cindy Berman's stepmom's been getting like messages from Eclipse saying, "You need to kill her. You need to destroy her. You need to kill her." And basically, he's been like pounding this point in. So like basically, when Cindy comes in, and like, and she goes, it says, please stop, please stop. And it's not for her health. It's not because it'll hurt her. It's because literally she's grown to care for her stepmom, despite what everything we saw that there is layers to Cindy. She isn't just this mean girl. There are significant vulnerabilities that she has. And she tells her to stop, and then and then as she goes through it, all of a sudden Cindy gets these red eyes like Eclipse on. She starts the purple face and she says, "I can feel your anger," and she puts her, and we now see what the crystal does, and she starts to turn purple, and the purple energy like burns everything out, and then as she it goes away, and he goes. And literally says, "What the hell did you do?" He says, "I was hungry, I fed," and stuff like that. And it's like, "If you don't, I'm going to put you back." It's like, that's the last time we're going to see Eclipse, is it? Use their power to do stuff like that. And then, and next day, it turns out that Jenny had gone. And it's a real shame because I prefer that she stuck around and we got more stories with her, but I'm guessing she's going to be back by. I wanted to be gone for at least a couple of episodes just so that we can establish other things. But as far as I think that this has been the best season of Stargirl so far. 2 great episodes, and I think that I'm glad what's going to be occurring later. Anyway. This has been NerdTube. We're the best channel that you're not aware of. I think we're going to be discussing What If tonight, so please tune into that if you're interested. It's going to be like 11 o'clock on British Summer Time, so please tune in. You're going to see me, you're going to see Zam, you're going to see Cheeto discussing What If, and whoever else wants to join us for that. Please tune in because we saw that Tom said. Anyway, thank you very much, and see you later for